Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial by Slide Scope. In this part, we are creating our dashboard for diabetes in young versus adult people in India. The data set we got is from kaggle.com. I will give you the source of the data set. Here in the data set, we have some really important parameters. So we will see how will we use those parameters in different type of charts, how to create these filters, and you can see on the basis of these filters, you will be able to analyze family history of diabetes, you will be able to analyze gender wise details, you will be able to analyze what type of parameters are there in healthy people, unhealthy people. So we will do all of that in this data set, in this dashboard creation. So let's get started with this. So let's do an overview of the diabetes in young adults in India dataset. This dataset contains 100,000 synthetic but realistic records reflecting the prevalence of diabetes and its contributing factors among young adults, that is ages between 15 to 25 in India. And as per the official link from where we have downloaded this data from Kaggle, this is the link. So it is designed to capture genetic predispositions, lifestyle habit, and key health metrics. It provides valuable insights into the onset of diabetes within the demographic. So here we have various demographic related columns like age, gender, region, and income group, genetic risk factors, lifestyle habits, health metrics. Here is the data set. So here we have ID. For every record, we have a unique ID, age of the person, gender of the person, region. This is geographically a geographical data like north, northeast, central, to which region he or she belongs. Family income. This is family history. Now we have parent diabetes type. We also have genetic risk score, BMI, physical activity level, dietary habits, fast food, smoking, alcohol consumption, fasting blood sugar, HbA1c value, whenever the blood test was done, HbA1c value, cholesterol level, pre-diabetes, yes. So they have also given yes or no for pre-diabetes. Then diabetes type is also given like type 1, type 2, none. Sleeping hours, on an average, how much hours do they sleep? Their stress level uh, seems like it is measured out of 10. Their screen time, how much time are they spending in front of a screen? So we will be able to see if someone is spending too many hours on screen time. So will is that a factor for diabetes or being a diabetic patient? So some key insights that we can derive is risk factor analysis. So we can assess the role of genetic predispositions, example, family history in diabetes onset. Evaluate how lifestyle factors such as BMI, diet, and physical activity influence diabetes risk. We also we can do diabetes prediction, develop predictive models to identify individuals at high risk for pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. Health metrics correlation, analyze relationship between health indicators like fasting blood sugar, HbA1c, cholesterol, and diabetes type, and investigate the impact of stress, sleep patterns, and screen time on overall health outcomes. We can also analyze demographic trends, that is, explore regional variations in diabetes prevalence across India, study difference in diabetes onset based on gender and income groups, and behavioral insights like examine how fast food consumption, smoking, and alcohol use correlate with diabetes outcomes. And we can analyze the combined effects of physical activities and dietary habits on key health metrics. This particular dataset provides a rich resource for research and data-driven decision making, enabling a deeper understanding of diabetes trends and prevention strategies among young adults in India. And this data set should only be used for research and educational purpose. For real analysis, you have to consider some real data set. This is just designed to capture the different trend analysis. Now, after all of this, there is another important categorical variable that we have, and that is dietary habits. So here you can see in the data set, we have family, parent history, genetic risk score, and dietary habits. In dietary habits, we have healthy, moderate, and unhealthy dietary habits. So as we have done for these charts, for example, here or by gender and diabetes type. So we will try to see the same data for dietary habit and type. So this is our clustered column chart. We will simply change it to clustered bar chart, and here instead of gender we will simply search for dietary habits. Okay, and now we will have some analysis here. You can see people with moderate dietary habits. You can see in this case none is highest, unhealthy 22.8k, in case of healthy 22.2k. Okay, so you can see the ratio wise performance, and what is the ratio of none, type 1 and type 2 for different dietary habits like this. And here we will simply change the title because it says by gender and dietary habit. So we will simply say by dietary habits. So this is simply diabetes type by dietary habits. And obviously you can modify the data like increase the size, etc. But since we have a lot more to put here, so that's why we are using smaller sizes. Similarly, we can also find out proportion of people who consume alcohol. Okay, so for this we also have another value which is called alcohol consumption. In legend it is either yes or no, and in values, sorry, so in legend first we will introduce alcohol consumption, and in values we can introduce ID. This will give us an indication of how many of these people consume alcohol. So you can see yes is around 19.79%. And if we simply use the diabetes type as a filter here, we can also do that. So obviously in such data sets, uh, we can remove this from legend, but just giving an example. First of all, let's copy the style here. So this is count of ID, count of individuals by alcohol consumption. A slicer can be used as a filter. We will bring the variable diabetes type in the field. We'll change the slicer settings to make it a drop down list. We can style the slicer header, and we can align it to center to do those type of things, or we can disable the header from here, go to general and enable the title here. And here you can do, because here you have options like aligning it to center, making it bold, choosing a particular type of color for your you know data. In values also you can go back, and here you have values. So for example, in visual itself, in values you can select a background. A very light background is something that you can select to match with your theme, and this will enable your data. You can also copy the same kind of a style here so that it follows the same pattern. So I have copied the style here, and somehow it has disabled the title. Now we have the slicer. Similarly, you can use other filters also, like we have different type of values that can be used as filters. And if you want, you can, obviously we are using drop down here, but if you have a space, so instead of drop down you can select open style also, or tile. For example, here we only have three type of values, so none, type 1, type 2. This way you will be able to analyze the data, you know, in a better way. Obviously we have to make some changes here, but this is one way of doing it. And when you are using tile, you can turn on single select, so anytime single select will be enabled. Okay, so this is something that you can do. And obviously sometimes in single select going back is difficult, so this is one way of selecting. So this is diabetes type. Here the field that we are going to use is another categorical value, that is dietary habits. In dietary habits we have healthy, moderate and unhealthy. So here we are going to use the slicer setting as vertical list, and we will just enable the vertical list. Okay, so that anyone can see what different options we have. I am just explaining different type of usage of slices, so that whatever you feel it, suits your style of creation, you can select that. So this is simple. And then we also have family history of diabetes. So here we are going to select the family history. In family history, we of diabetes we have yes or no. So here also we will simply enable the button. In slicer type we will enable tile. Okay, so, and one more important thing is you have to change the title accordingly. So it is family history of diabetes. Okay, and this is dietary habits. So this way you can create these filters. For example, we want to see people with moderate dietary habits and their entire data. We can also enable some KPIs here, KPI like cards here, so which will let us know, average values for different type of filters. For example, what is average HbA1c for those people who have family history of diabetes? No, dietary habit moderate, and diabetes type none. Okay, so for that we will just enable a card visual here, not here. Click anywhere outside, create a card visual, just resize your card visual. So because we want to put some different values here, I will pick HbA1c. Instead of sum, I will pick average. I will go to call out value and reduce its size to around 22. So this is 7.01. We already have the category label, so we can make it bold. And from here we can control its name also. Either you can control from the title or you can rename it from here. So we will simply write average HbA1c. So this way we will be able to see that average HbA1c is 7.01 for all the data values that we have here. Okay. If we select moderate or unhealthy, you can see what is the HbA1c. So you can see for healthy people it is slightly lower. Diabetes type none, 7.01. Family history of diabetes no, yes. So it is not changing again. This is a lot more about the data set also that we have received. But in a real data set, you will always get to see a different value. Here also we can copy the same thing so it matches the style, and obviously call out value is something we will simply increase so that it's good to see. So this is average HbA1c. Similarly, we can introduce some different cards for different type of analysis here. So as we included average HbA1c, we have also included average screen time, average sleep hour, average stress level. And we have copied some filters here like family history of diabetes, we have copied gender. For some we have used the vertical list style, for some we have used the tile list. Okay. So for example, if you want to analyze for type 1 people, what is average HbA1c, what is average screen time they are having, average stress level, average sleep hour, their diabetes type by dietary habit will always be type 1, but you can see their on the basis of dietary habits, what is the count of people. You can also bring other type of numerical variables here. Obviously, there is a lot to explore in this data set. So we will create another video. Here we have considered the diabetes type variable as an output. In the next part, we will also consider the pre-diabetes value or output. And on the basis of that, we will try to draw some conclusions, try to explore the data. So this is a simple data set analysis, simple exploratory data analysis. I hope you like the tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe to our channel so that we can keep creating content like this.